Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Leo in mid-March 2020. Hello, Leo. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, friends. Hi. What's up? Welcome back to me and you, if you're a returning viewer. If you're a first-time viewer, you're also welcome here. Especially a welcome back to myself. I took a little bit of a hiatus from the channel. Mercury retrograde really did a number on me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all the things. And just some general disruption to the flow of my energy. I was not in the best headspace, mind space, same difference, headspace, heart space is what I should have said. Headspace, heart space, or even, what was going on internally with my intuition. Everything was just haywire back during Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde has been over for about a week now, and I'm feeling much better to come back to the channel and do generals for everybody. Personals were still going on, but I just had to get away. But I'm back now, and I'm doing this mid-March message. If you're a returning viewer, this might look a little off to you, and the explanation behind that is because the timing of me coming back has come here in the middle of March, so I can't do the March readings. However, I'm combining the two sort of, so you have the monthly type spread, which is 6 cards instead of 4, but we're doing it now for mid-March. Now, that doesn't mean like it's specific for mid-March. I should always say that, and this is probably the first time I've ever said it. But my readings are more about what I'm feeling in the moment. The title is really what should guide you, not actually, the time frame that it happened, unless the time frame is significant to you. So, if this is, a message that comes out and it applied to you last year, then you needed to hear this message now and not last year, okay? Just to sort of explain that. Anyway, anything else? Oh, yeah. Quickly, for those who are affected, which I think many people on the planet are affected by this COVID-19 coronavirus thing that's going around. If you are affected in any way, you have my sympathy, you have my empathy. Hopefully it's not too terrible. Hopefully you're staying safe and you're staying diligent in your efforts to suppress the spread of the virus if you can. I myself, I've been sent home to work. I've been home for like 6 days. It's not as fun as I thought it would be, but I am fortunate that I can work from home. So I'm actually pretty blessed in that way. If you are not so blessed in that way, again, you have my condolences and my sympathies, because it's hard out here just to make a living, let alone make a living during a pandemic. So hopefully this thing gets taken care of sooner rather than later, and we can all go back to things as normal. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Leo, let me see Leo's outcome for mid-March. I want to see Leo's outcome for mid-March. Please show me. Nothing. Tight-lipped, eh? Your spread came out pretty easily, Leo, but this outcome, there it goes. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Hey now, hey. I love this deck so much. It is one of my best purchases yet. Love it. Love it. All right, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and flip the came face down for you, Leo. Badow. Okay. And let's see what's shaking, shall we? Please show me where Leo is in mid-March 2020. Please show me Leo in mid-March 2020. I'm going to pause that for 2 seconds. The other thing that I forgot, Leo, very quickly, I'm on IG right now, or right now, not in this moment, but I am now on IG on Instagram. So if you want to follow me, EmpathicFire Tarot over on Instagram, if you want to follow me, okay? There will be a nice little graphic here. And so you'll be able to see that. Now, back to the reading. Please show me where Leo is in mid-March 2020. Mid-March 2020, please show me. One more time, please. Okay, thank you. Because we were between two, but You know, and I'm like, I gotta have it clear, because sometimes they're like both, and I'm like, no, we don't do both. We got to start with one. So, Leo, you come in with the King of Wands. Hey now, hey, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So you're right at home. And, you know, for those of us under quarantine or social distancing or whatever it is, work from home, whatever your situation is, you're right at home, maybe, literally. But more to the point of what we're talking about with the tarot, Leo, I think that you feel very powerful right now. I think you feel very capable right now, despite your circumstances. You know, again, with what's going on in your day-to-day life, I think this is more overall. You know, in your day-to-day, you might be, you know, spending all day in your pajamas working from home like I am. But it's like this ownership of self, this ownership of your path, this ownership of your, dare I say, destiny. For some of you, you feel very much at the helm, at holding on to the reins, and nobody can tell you one way or the other what is good for you. You're very headstrong right now, but thank you, there's a but, not in a way that I think is fearsome, not in a way that I think you're being intolerable. If you're being intolerable with anyone, I think you're being intolerable with yourself, meaning I don't think that you're settling. Yes, thank you. Leo is not in the mood to settle. Leo is not in the mood to get anything than what they deserve. And I feel Leo knows what they deserve now, and they will not be convinced otherwise. Now, that can rub that can run over, thank you, that's the small R word I wanted, that can run over into your relationships. I'm not gonna lie, I get that some Leos out there are going to let that roar out. And I don't know if any of you Leos have ever like gone to the zoo or on safari or anything and you've heard a lion roar in real life. That shit is great. I love it. I was visiting the zoo in DC, the National Zoo in DC, a couple of years ago, and it was amazing. Oh my God. Anyway, but you know, theoretically, or not theoretically, metaphorically, thank you, you're letting that roar out, because I think many of you have come from a situation, a time period, a relationship, some phase in your life where how you felt about yourself or how you felt about your circumstances was just like in the toilet, so to speak, right? And Leo, you know, will deal with, you know, things that are unsatisfactory for a long time. Some people don't know that about a Leo. They're very willing to roll around in the mud for a while. But then eventually when the Leo wants to get back into their regalness, or the Leo wants to get back into their pride of place, you know, the mud has to come off and we have to shake all that dirt off and like get back to business. And sometimes that comes in the form of a roar. That comes in the form of setting down rules, regulations, boundaries, and it can be abrasive. I'm not going to lie. I get the sense that some Leos are very abrasive right now. Others, not so much. But, you know, take your pick. You know your style better than I do, right? You know, your own personal approach. The bigger point here is not how much the bigger point here is not how you're treating other people or how you're speaking to other people. Some of you, it's very, you know, cool, calm, collected. Others of you, you're letting it rip. The bigger context that they're wanting me to show, because yes, thank you. It's about how you treat yourself and how you handle yourself and how you view yourself. Leo is not wanting to roll around in the mud anymore. Like, that has its fun sometimes, and it's, you know, some more than something to do. Leo's like a challenge. Leo's like to get, you know, be presented with a problem and solve that problem. Very much, you know, that type of, I can do it, I can fix this, I can apply myself here and do well, right? But when that task is over, or when, you know, it's not actually fruitful the way Leo thought it would be, it's time to get out of that. And so you're out of that. I'm out of that mud. I'm out of that dirt pit. I'm out of this. I'm going back to my pride of place. I'm going to clean my mane up. I'm going to, you know, clear my body of all this dirt, and I'm just going to be me. And when Leo knows who they are, they become this very powerful, demonstrative figure. This King of Wands, one of the coolest, in my opinion, depictions of the King of Wands. Now, I mean, he's a vampire, so I mean, if you're not into that, sorry. But I mean, the fact that this guy standing there in his whole getup and he's holding this woman, presumably dead, I don't know, but holding up another human being, holding dead weight in your arms, physically strong, spiritually, because this is Wands, spiritually strong. Like I said, in some cases, headstrong. But this is needed. This is needed because I feel Leo was in a position previous to now of trying to get something off the ground in terms of personal projects, in terms of business, in terms of relationships, in terms of getting things sorted with family members and friends, and trying, and doing that hard work. Now that that hard work is done, and maybe it was successful, maybe it was a failure, maybe it's whatever, I don't know. Now that energy has shifted to this internal boosting of the self, this internal revival of the self, and Leo is not settling. Leo's not dealing with any mud right now. No mud. We're off the mud for a minute. You know what I mean? So it's revitalized energy, and it's the highest you can get in the court cards. So you come out like a this is so weird. They're like, you come out like what are they saying? Like thunder. You come out like thunder. You're setting off like a firecracker, like fireworks. And it's an interesting time to be doing that, considering so many other people I've read for. I've read for the 4 signs before you. This is the first time that I've come into a reading, either general or private, that feels like, bang, I'm here. Or, or for those who are a little more quiet about it, I'm here. And I'm not going to be shaken by anything. So maybe some of you in the middle of this panic that some people are experiencing, and it's very real. A lot of people have issues, and rightly so, of the idea of being quarantined, the idea of being sent home from work with or without pay, whatever it is, and that can create a lot of unease in people's energies. I don't get a sense that whatever Leos are going to resonate with this message, your energy is out of whack. Your energy is perfect. Take that back. Perfect is not true. Perfect is not a real thing. So I'm taking that back. But your energy is even keeled. That's what I feel. Solid. Like that man standing there holding that woman in his arms. Solid. His knees are not about to buckle. Solid. Wow. It's very good. And like I said, different than all the readings I've done so far. And I've just started doing readings, started on Saturday or Sunday. And today is Wednesday, so good for you, Leo. Now, what else is happening here? So, yeah, you're solid and you know what you want. Done. They're like, done. Done. You're solid. You know what you want. You want no furls, no... What's that called? Oh, I forget. But they're showing me this thing that I've seen in movies and cartoons before, where someone takes a coin. Yeah, I think somebody takes like a coin or something and they bite on it to see if it's fake. You don't want anything fake. There you go. I forget what that's called or whatever. So you see this golden pentacle, Ace of Pentacles here. You see this golden pentacle. And normally the aces in tarot are offers, opportunities, chances, right? And pentacles can indicate money, can indicate some type of job offer or new project, new venture for you, new investments, right? And investing right now, I'm not a financial person at all, but be careful is all I'm going to say, because, the little that I do know, I would be super careful with like huge amounts of money, right? Anyway, so money, jobs, projects, investments, health is also sometimes indicated by pentacles, and health and wellness, and of course time. These are all things that we value in the physical world that we occupy, right? And there's more, because you can technically, in a more abstract way, value relationships. That's not always associated with pentacles, but take it with a grain of salt. Because if you're here thinking about relationships and you don't want any fake relationships, boom, there you go. So what I have here is this idea of Leo taking this pentacle, biting down on it to test if it's real. So if you're being offered a job, an opportunity, if you're being not given, but you're coming into some money, or you're thinking of how to invest or where to save, or whatever, everything you're looking at, it has to be viable. It has to be correct. Has to come to you correctly, has to be presented in the right way, has to be, if this is about contractual agreements, all the terms have to be correct. If it's not up to snuff, you're not going to get involved. And you're, again, this idea of not settling for less. I also think this is interesting because check out this hand. It's kind of like your hand, Leo. Like that arm could extend to the viewer of the card, right? Perspectively, from God, I'd have to dig up an art term here other than perspective, and I can't think of one. But from the perspective that the artist has drawn this card or created this image, it looks as though it could belong to the person who's viewing it, right? So that's kind of interesting to me, because this could be an opportunity that you make for yourself or that you offer to yourself. Oh, okay. That could work for those in terms of your health. You set goals, you set up, you go sign up for a gym membership. You're the one who pays for that, something like that, where you're investing in yourself. And that could play for all. Whatever you're doing, it's self-interest. If I'm going to get involved with this person, if I'm going to get involved with this business, if I'm going to move my money from here to here in terms of investment, it has to benefit me. And there is a tinge of selfishness to it. However, remember what I said when we were talking about the King of Wands. I get this sense that many Leos, not all, and by the way, high cross watchers, this could go the other way. It is a general, but whoever was doing what I said earlier about rolling around in the mud and doing the hard work, that wasn't Leo putting themselves first. Because if you were involved in circumstances that were trying, that were arduous, that were contentious, or that, just involved a lot of brain power, or involved or required a lot of your time and your effort. And again, whether the result was fruitful or not is beyond the point. The point is, I think you were doing that for the benefit of other people. So friends needed you, called you up, asked you for some favors. Hey man, I'm moving. Can you move my couch? I'll be right over. I'm sure there's a joke about Friends in there somewhere. I didn't watch Friends, but I know they moved a couch at some point, right? Anyway, so, your friends call you up, they need a favor, you're there. Your family members call you up, they need money, you got them. Whatever it was, going into business or trying to invest in something on your own, you had your own back, you trusted people, maybe you trusted certain financial advisors and you were working with them, but it didn't go right, whatever it was. Now, going forward, you're relying mostly on yourself, or not relying, let me take that back. Your interest is securing things for yourself. If it's not a solid, stable thing that benefits you, if you don't see how you're going to benefit from it at the start of the thing, you're not going to do it. Now that, again, might sound selfish. Your friend might call you again. Hey, I'm moving a second couch. Can you help me? You might think, well, the last time we moved this couch, you threw that thing into my car, you scratched the side of my car, you didn't clean it off from your dog's fur and all that stuff, so I got a bunch of dog fur in my car or in my truck because of this. Like, you know what I mean? And that sounds like really petty, but I mean, that's kind of where Leo's at. I did this thing for you and maybe you were appreciative, but I also then had to do more work to clean up behind this good act that I did for you. I would love to help you, but this time I'm not going to help you. Or I would love to help you, but if I'm going to move this couch, make sure you don't scratch my car and make sure you clean up all the pet hair that's on it. And then I'll help you. It's like that. There are stipulations that you are laying out there. If we're going to do this going forward, friend, moving the couch, if we're going to do this going forward, mom or dad, in whatever's going on in your family, if we're going to do this moving forward, partner, romantic partner, business partner, whatever, here are the things that I absolutely need. Here are the things that I absolutely am not going to settle on. I'm not going to compromise on, because when I compromised before, I had a bunch of dog hair in my fucking car. You see what I mean? So Leo is just not in the mood to do for others the way they were doing for others before. And again, rightly so. I feel it. I know it. Rightly so. Now, the other, I just grabbed that. Is that right? Yes, because they're like, this is different. This is a whole different story. Okay. So the other aspect of this is, Leo, this is something that you're willing to do because they're already showing me this is a potential, and this is interesting because it's the Ace of Swords, and this is not a term that I don't know that I've ever heard anyone mention this while talking about the Ace of Swords, but all of that communication, or all of that, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I will not settle less for, I won't settle for less, right? Saying all of that can be a cutting your nose to spite your face kind of energy or scenario, right? But I really don't think Leo gives a shit. Because, this is a striking image of the Ace of Swords, right? And again, we've got this perspective where the person who's viewing the card could be the possessor of the hands, right? So I think, yes, and please take this very figuratively, Leo's like willing to die for what they're saying, or Leo's willing to lay their life on the line for whatever they're pursuing, for whatever they're insisting upon. This is a no bones about it. It's got to be this or it's nothing at all. Very, if I'm honest, in some of your cases, you might be giving people ultimatums. That's like for a few of you, because I don't agree with ultimatums, because that creates this. That's a strong arm move. I'm just a sidebar here. I know some Leos are going to use ultimatums, and that works for you, and that's what's necessary in your situation. I always err on the caution of ultimatums personally, because it's influence. If you don't do this, I will do that. Or if you don't do this, then this will happen. Like, using those terms is kind of dangerous, in my opinion. Just saying. But I know some Leos are absolutely in that headspace, especially if you're dealing with like money, because you do have that big Ace of Pentacles over here, right? You kind of have to play hardball in those terms. If this happens, then there's a fine. If this happens, then the contract is null and void. Something like that. That makes sense. But I'm cautious about this ultimatum thing. I just am. Because again, look at the artwork. You can end up hurting yourself if you go with ultimatums, or with any of this, really. But like I said, Leo's in the mood of saying, I'm rolling these dice. Who cares? Because I believe so much in what I'm standing for. With the lady in my arms, I believe in what I'm standing for. If I'm standing for my integrity, if I'm standing for my value, my dignity, if I'm standing in faith of my business, if I'm standing in faith of my relationship with someone who maybe other people disapprove of, could be something like that. That's like a low, like a tiny, tiny chance that belongs to someone. But I get the sense like there's a partnership in business, or a friendship, or a romantic connection that, other people are like, oh no, I don't know about that. And you're like, I don't care what you care. Or I don't care what you care. I don't care what you think. I want to date them, or I want to marry them, or I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's not your business, mom, dad, whoever, you know what I mean, who disapproves. So all that's willing to come right out of Leo's mouth. There's no holding back, really. And that, again, can be detrimental. It all depends how Leo you decide to say things, or the timing perhaps of when you say things. And again, I don't think that you're even caring about the result. That could be it. I think that for some Leos, the imperative part is to express. The imperative part is to get it off your chest. Or the imperative part is just to be honest. Thank you. Just to be honest. I'm not going to pull punches. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to, you know, dance around the subject. When given a chance to tell the powers that be, the people who are involved with me, the people who want to, be in my life, I'm going to tell you straight up, this is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to evade the topic. We're going straight for the jugular. This is what's happening. This is how I feel. This is what I think. This is what I want. And I keep doing this jabbing motion because it's going to be that direct. It's going to be that direct, as in you poke someone in their side. Listen to me. This is, and some of you might, I don't want to presume what you're doing, but some of you might have to do that. Like literally like poke someone to get their attention. Like, hey, listen to me. I'm talking to you. And that might be a little aggressive. That might be a little adversarial. I don't know. But I just know, again, Leo's coming in with this very intense energy of, I'm not messing around here. Not messing around. None of this is about messing around. And again, when Leo has to assert themselves, it can come off very aggressively, or it can be disconcerting to other people, because again, I get the sense of Leo hasn't been like this for a while. So when that heat turns on, it's like when you when you turn your heat on after, for those who this applies to, after like the summer months, and you go into fall and winter and you turn the heat on in your house, it's kind of abrasive. Kind of has like a weird smell to it, right? Not saying that Leo smells weird, but it's just like it takes some getting used to. And then after a while, the fire or the fire, the heat and the burning of the oil or whatever it is, it warms the house. It warms the house and it makes it comfortable. So as ferocious as Leo is being, Leo will benefit directly, and they know that. Very interesting. Okay. So now what happens? Well, essentially what I'm seeing immediately is somebody doesn't want to hear all that shit. Somebody's like, no, don't you go roaring now. And it's like, too late. That ball is rolling. So Leo, you might be dealing with people who are not prepared for what you have to say, prepared for what you are willing to do and put into a situation or take out of a situation, whatever it is. I get the sense of the other side, whatever the other side is. Is that right? Yeah, because it's like friends, it's family, it's business, it's partnerships in terms of dating and romance. It's all of it. Everybody, or one particular person, whatever it is, they're not ready, right? Yes, got it. Two of Swords. Not here for it. Not here for that. Oh, she's a little glary. No. There she is. There we go. Better focus on that. So here we have someone, male or female, doesn't matter. No gender, by the way, in a general, okay? But here we have someone blindfolded, arms crossed in front. And, hold on. Could just be the way the wind is flowing through that dress. Maybe a pregnancy? They're like showing, they're like, look at the belly, look at the belly. Okay, someone might be pregnant. I don't know how that applies, because, they're not giving me anything other, and pregnant. They're like one of my guides in the back, the belly. I'm like, okay, it looks like a pregnant belly. Okay, so that might be important to you. For me, I'm like, I don't think so. At least not for me. Anyway, so we have someone here who is being just as headstrong. However, Because remember, I did say that about Leo, and that's no lie. Leo is being very headstrong, possibly stubborn, possibly, inflexible. This person is doing the same. However, look at the roaring fire behind the King of Wands here. That's inspiration. That's having a sense of self, a sense of purpose, and a drive, and a focus, and it's just a little more dynamic or a little more purposeful, right? What's going on here behind this woman in this card? There's a raging storm of emotions. There's rocks in the water. There's a lot of emotional upheaval. And it's a little stormy. It's night. It's kind of overcast. There's a lot more disruption with the Two of Swords energy, whether it be representing one single person or, again, this idea of the other side. Whether the other side be a team of people, the other side, again, being one individual, the other side being, just how you're fitting in with the world right now. Because, again, I mentioned that. I think this is the first reading I've done out of several where the energy of the person or the sign that I'm reading for is feeling confident, is feeling in control at a time when people's personal control and autonomy is being altered or held back completely by the powers that be, by governments, by bosses, by corporations, by local government, whatever it is, right? So the other side, whether that be society or, your best friend, they are in a turmoil. They are in some chaotic space. They're in a place where things are not seen clearly, blindfolded. Things are not being approached steadfastly because those arms are crossed in front of her. She's not using those swords for what they're meant to do, right? She's holding them in front of herself in a defensive posture, but it's not going to help you much if you're blindfolded. So in some ways, this energy is inept. This energy is handicapped, let's say. Because again, if you want to do something with those two swords, take the blindfold off. If you want to use those swords well, you're supposed to use them in battle. You're supposed to thrust them forward in front of yourself to defend yourself from attackers or whatever it is, right? And then, of course, you probably shouldn't be wearing a dress and you probably shouldn't be, standing. Is she in a boat maybe? No, I don't know where she is. But, just this whole depiction is not feasible. More traditionally with the Two of Swords, we have someone who is unable to make choices. They avoid it or they're incapable. And that's going to play to your specific situation. In some of your situations, someone is absolutely incapable. They absolutely have a handicap when it comes to making decisions, or the other side is, or it could be a mix of both, or this person or people don't want to make a decision. They know it has to be done, but it's too tough a call to make, something like that. They don't want to make it out of selfish reasons, maybe to be spiteful. In a few of your cases, it's going to run the gamut, because this is one of the bigger, and let me see, how can I say this? I'm feeling a bigger population, right? In other readings, I feel it, and I'm getting specific segments, oh, well, this is a subset of that story, and this is a subset of that story. No, Leo's reading is very overall. It applies in all the areas, right? So for the person that's dealing with, this is just you and your roommate hashing it out over who's going to clean the toilet now that the two of you are quarantined together for the next couple of weeks, God forbid months, right? Well, who's going to clean the toilet? I hate it. I'm not going to clean it. It could be something so petty and so minuscule, or like I said, it could be this whole thing involving the global impact where other people are just not faring so well in this energy. And Leo's like, I'm cool. I know what I want. I know who I am. And, I am not going to go out and, fight someone over some toilet paper. That's so, Leo has some resoluteness that this other side does not have. Interesting. And there's something about that red, the red of that blindfold. I don't know. They want me to point it out. I'm not sure why they want me to point it out, but maybe that's significant to you. A red blindfold or the color red. Maybe the other side is seeing red, but they're holding themselves back. Maybe they're angry about something, but they're not expressing it. I don't know. But there's something about red and the blindfold, and they just wanted me to point it out. So there you go. So someone who's wanting to make decisions or ready to make decisions, has made decisions, is in that sense of I'm capable. I'm at the helm. I'm at the wheel here. Somebody who's like, oh my God, get my hands off this wheel. Jesus, take the wheel, or anybody take the, this two of swords energy is very no contest. Because again, either incapable or unwilling to make a decision. Incapable or unwilling to take the blindfold off and look at the chaos that's going around or that they're in and making sense of it and applying logic. For God's sakes, if you wanted to navigate this landscape, you're not going to get very far if you remain blindfolded. So someone here might be playing ignorant on purpose. Okay, so let's see what else happens here. Show me. Okay. So this energy has, what's that phrase? Lying in the bed that you make for yourself, or whatever it is. You made the bed, now lie in it. That's what this is. 3 of Cups. In some cases, and this is rare, if you followed me for a while, this is rare because I don't usually say this. In some cases, this is about a third-party situation. However, and see, I'm going to go immediately into a caveat. It's not about romantic in all cases, third party. This is third party where someone could have a drinking problem or an issue with drugs, right? And if this is your friend, if this is your family member, if this is your husband, your wife, whoever, right? And they've got an issue with substances. Here you are, not settling for any mess, and here's the mess, okay? Somebody's choices and behaviors equal disruption or equal them being trapped in disruption, because what I'm getting is this woman underwater feels trapped, right? And water, of course, in tarot is equal to or the symbol that we use to represent emotions, right? So this person is trapped in their emotions. They're trapped in emotional behaviors, or they're triggered by what they feel. And again, that can manifest out in the way of, I'm just gonna, you might send your husband or your wife out, in this time to get supplies, and they come back with a 12-pack. They were out of TP, so I got this instead. Nobody said to spend money on beer, Bill. Well, I did. You know what I mean? So there's this element in the third party situation. Someone makes a choice to invite in or participate in extracurricular, let's call it extracurricular, outside energy. Let's just go with that. I don't know why extracurricular. Oh, maybe that's it. Okay. I mean, we can interpret that easily for those where it applies, because I don't think this applies. I mean, it's going to hit for somebody, but I don't think it applies for the majority of people. It is, the whole, an illicit affair and, outside dating of the relationship, whatever. That applies for some. More to the point, it's about inviting an outside energy and then being trapped in that decision, or feeling trapped because of that decision. Thank you. Not being trapped in the decision, being trapped by the decision. And again, this idea of her being trapped underwater because of this indulgence. Because if you see at the top, it's a party going on up there. People are raising their glasses, raising their cups, shots, 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 right? So it's a good festive energy on the surface or outside of the emotional trap. But on the inside, we got somebody who's drowning. So it's kind of one of these things where it feels like the good times roll for whoever's down here. They did. Thank you. They did. They were. The good times were rolling. Let's have a good time. Life is normal. Life is pleasant. Life is festive, right? And that is kind of maybe the cycle or the circle that, cycle, circle, same thing. Yes. On the surface, things look normal. So again, send your husband out to get supplies because you know you're going to be quarantined during this time, right? Or whoever, husband, roommate, your neighbor, because they're going and you're not going anywhere. Hey, could you pick me up when you're at the store, whatever. And this person goes on this task, but they execute things as if it's normal, as if it's a normal state of affairs. So you tell them, go get the essentials. We need TP. And I don't know why people are going crazy over TP, but whatever. We need TP. We need bread. We need milk. We need peanut butter, jelly, to make sandwiches or whatever. Pasta, non-perishable items. This person comes back. All right, I got 2 watermelons, 2 bottles of vodka, that 12 pack of beer. I got some Funyuns. I got some stuff to make s'mores with the kids. And you're just like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Well, we don't need anything else. We're gonna, this person's like, well, we're gonna be home. We should do something fun. We're gonna be home. People are, hoarding supplies. You need to be out there. If you can't get, I'm not saying this is exactly what you told this person. But it's just like, if you need to go in there and elbow somebody to pick up a pack of macaroni, for God's sakes. S'mores is not nutrition. S'mores is not a way that we can keep this family alive or keep this family fed for a long time. If you go out and get macaroni, I can feed us for 3 days. I can't feed kids and us on s'mores. What did you do? You know what I mean? It's like that. This person is indulgent, or this energy is indulgent or short-sighted, and they are trapped by that. Or they're aware that they do this. It's like a worst enemy thing. I am my own worst enemy. I always do this. Or you, and some people would say that. I'm getting the sense like a husband coming back. Well, I don't normally go shopping anyway. Why'd you send me to the store? Because I had to go pick the kids up because school got early dismissal because, schools are closing. So one of us had to, you know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to split the difference between the duties and the responsibilities, and you drop the ball, Larry, or Bill, or whatever I called him earlier, right? So it's like that. Larry's like, I'm not good at this stuff anyway. You never should have sent me. It's like that. So on a bigger scale, away from a domestic situation, again, you can apply this. If this is about investment and Leo, again, wanting to get their finances in order or wanting to make the most of financial opportunities with that Ace of Pentacles, you may have, worked with this financial person for many years and they keep fumbling the ball and costing you money. Or they fumble the ball and they don't get as much, profit, or they don't get as much on the return as they could have if they were more proactive. So not only is this person or this energy, I keep saying this person, but again, it applies to a larger scale. And if you're here in the States, you might know some people in your local government, at least where I am. I'm like, oh, you should have said that sooner. But you didn't. You know what I mean? So whether it's, local officials, national, on the federal level, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's, people in your apartment making bonehead decisions, whatever, or you recognize that this person usually just likes to have a good time, or they're not good in crisis. Let's say that. Let's just say that this person, this other side energy, is just not the best in crisis, okay? And it's showing. And aside from those where you have an actual connection with the person, you live with them, you work with them, whatever it is, I think in general, this is seen by Leo. At a previous point, Leo may have thought, I could help, I could fix that. And now Leo's kind of like, it's not my problem. Or I'll just do it myself if it's like a domestic thing, right? All right, well, I'll go to the store, Bill. You stay here with the kids and make s'mores. I'll be back because I have some sense and I'm going to go buy pasta. You know? So it's like you either step in and take over and you fix it for yourself because, again, Leo is in this energy of if I'm going to do it, it has to benefit me. And, you are buying pasta so you can feed your kids and your spouse, right? But also it's kind of like, I need to eat too. I'm not comfortable eating s'mores and sandwiches for the next 3 days. I want to make pasta, you know? So you drive back out into that madness, you elbow a few people, you get yourself some elbows and macaroni, and there you go. So it's something like that, where some Leos are going to step in and do it themselves. Other Leos are going to be like, okay, well, these are the choices that have been made. They were outside of my control. They were outside of my influence. This is what's happening. And, and if you're in a domestic situation where it wouldn't be petty, like maybe it would with roommates, but I get the sense of someone who's like, they would go back out to the store and get enough like supplies for themselves. So like you come back, you bring back the pasta, you bring back the canned vegetables or the frozen vegetables or whatnot, and you make dinner or you make a meal, and your roommate's like, hey, is there some for me? And you're like, no, there's none for you. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, you bought ingredients to make s'mores. I guess that's going to be your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Bye-bye. You know? Oh, man. So, and I said that. You make your bed, you lie in it. Final card in the main spread. Hello. 9 of Swords. Made that bed, go ahead and lie in it. And I'm not saying it in a punishing way because, again, I think in some of your cases, Leo, you don't even have any idea what's going on over here. Because, again, I am getting the sense that in some of your cases, this is about family members. This is about people that you live with, right? In other cases, you're solo dolo. You don't live with anybody else. You're over there eating all the pasta you want, having all the tortellini that you want because you went out and bought things. This could be, your best friend who lives in another state who's, in a sense, suffering because of their ineptitude, right? This could be your best friend. This could be your business partner on their end dropping the ball. You're getting your ducks in a row, right? So some of you don't even have direct knowledge of what's going on, but I'm telling you, this is what's going on. So this person, miserable to a certain extent, miserable, plagued and inundated with guilt, plagued and inundated with this, why can't I do this right? Why is this happening to me? How come that? How come this? When did that start? Oh my God. And, having all these thoughts rushing through their head, this 9 of Swords. It often can talk about having bad dreams or, just having things replay in your mind that are haunting you. Now that all sounds super heavy, but again, what did I say? Stormy weather with that 2 of Swords, right? The big storm and emotional upheaval and the chaotic energy that's coming from the emotional sphere, right? And then this being submerged, being trapped by the emotional sphere, right? And then you have this hamster wheel in the mental space. This person is thinking all the time of what to do, how to make it better, and then maybe psyching themselves out and saying, well, and because again, they're not doing anything. This energy over here, the other side, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything different, right? They're not doing anything different. Or they're not doing anything at all. They're very inactive, right? So what's really going on is this emotional stuntedness, stuckness, or this constant... You ever see... how can I describe it? It's like churning, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's disruptive, but it also doesn't dissipate. And it's deep. Again, with the water, with this idea of the emotional sphere, right? So it's constantly churning, like boiling water, or the ocean, right? The ocean is constantly churning, even if you can't see it, right? So it's something like that. And the mental is barely any different. Barely any different. Anxiety, sleepless nights, that's the way we call it, sleepless nights, if not nightmares, sleepless nights, insomnia. I get the sense that this person, I mean, if you look, hands up to the face, crying in some cases, panicked is the general consensus, right? That I feel, and just stuck in some shit. Stuck in some shit. Leo is not a part of that. You either have no knowledge of what is going on with the other side, and when I say no knowledge, you have no first hand in it. You're not experiencing this yourself. Because again, this idea of everybody is in a tizzy, whatever Leos I'm connecting with, you're cool, you're calm, you're collected. You're just like chilling. Even if you're somebody who is at home without pay. I just have this, I get this sense of there's some unshakable energy with Leo right now. And the person or the energy that's here on the bottom, shooketh. Totally shooketh. Okay? Outcome. Page of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Capricorn. Why would I say Capricorn first? That's interesting. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So there you go. Maybe some of you have an emphasis on a Capricorn. But Page of Pentacles. So the outcome is slowly getting better. Situation slowly improving, slowly starting out anew or being refreshed. This is careful planning. This is careful investigations or investments into a situation. Again, it's Pentacles, so we can't be talking about money and job. And I think this applies to the entire situation. This isn't just for Leo. This other side, whatever it is, whoever it is, they have a slight access to this too. However, that is beyond Leo's care at this point, because Leo's going to get theirs. There you go. Leo's going to get theirs. Whether anybody else steps up to the plate, whether anybody else, slides up to the table and says, give me a slice of the pie. I deserve a slice of the pie. I want a slice of the pie. You know what I mean? If other people want to sleep and not get a slice of the pie, that's on them. So whoever wants it can have it. Now, it's a page. It's just beginning. It's not, straight out the gate as strong or as accomplished as this King of Wands energy is that you have already, Leo. So this reinvestment, whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, this opportunity, if it goes your way, it breaks in your favor very slowly. Breaks your way in a small way. Again, it's not like, an immediate victory or an immediate payout, okay? Will take time to develop. But the thing about the pages, or the pages in general, all of them, is that they're earnest and they have the vitality or the longevity behind them. It's a longer road ahead, but they've got the spirit, they've got the dedication, they have the focus, they have the drive, they have the willingness to put in work. That's what this feels like. So the moment you get the opportunity, the moment a truth comes to you or you express a truth, you're going to be dedicated to whatever comes after. If it's a new job, relocation, if it's a new way of doing your work, right? Maybe some of you, this is the first time that you've had to work from home. You're dedicated to it. You're doing it and you're going to do it well. Anything else? Could be a pet. A pet. Look at all these animals floating around this Page of Pentacles. So you could have swapped your roommate for a kitten. And, you've never owned a pet before in your life, or you've never owned a cat before. You know nothing about it. Welcome to the world of owning cats. I enjoy it, but other people are like, hell no. Hell yes, cats are great. Overall energy, the Fool card, secondary major arcana for Aquarius. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius, but you don't have to be. Hey, what have we been talking about this whole time? New beginnings. New beginnings. All right? Leo is in for the new beginning. You see how she's kind of rushing away from the water and presumably maybe rushing away from that big mansion on the hillside? And she looks kind of panicked. I don't think you're panicked, Leo. Some of you might be, just to be fair. Some of you might be. But in general, I get the sense of just like, I'm done with that. Whatever was in that house up on that hill, I'm not going back up there. Not going back up there. You couldn't pay me $1 million. I'm not going back up there. So there's no turning back. Wherever Leo is going, they're going there and there will not be turning back. If somebody wants to chase after them, or if somebody wants to join them on this path going forward, this path of opportunity, this path of truth and honesty, this path of internal strength, come on with it. Again, if you want a slice of the pie, come and get a slice of the pie. If not, I'm going to take the pie myself. Like, you know, who has time or at this point now the energy to roll around in that mud and stay there with people, or stay there with situations or circumstances that ultimately leave you drained of your resources, drained of your energy, I can't even talk, energy, your time, right? This is, you know, I did say it before. Leo might be a little selfish. Leo might be roaring a little loudly right now, but it is with just cause. It comes after a time when Leo has given so much of themselves. So this reinvestment, this slow start towards something better, can't even talk, better, it benefits you. And that's okay. All right, Leo, that is your reading for mid-March. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Hit it for me. If you want to let people know about my channel, feel free to share the video. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated with you. Please do. And if you have not subscribed, friends, please consider subscribing to the channel. I continue to grow as a reader here in this big old jungle of tarot readers on YouTube. So any support that you offer to the channel is amazing to me, and I appreciate it. Again, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is EmpathicFire Tarot over there. So again, jump over there and give me a follow if you want to. Leo, I'll be back soon with the April readings, and then the mid-Aprils after that. I might be thinking up some new content for the channel. My guides keep like giving me little hints, and I'm like, okay, that might work. So we're gonna see. Always a work in progress around here. So, but if you're subscribed, you will be the first to know. You'll be the first to see. So if you're here, make sure that you subscribe so you can see when all that stuff comes up. Okay. All right, Leo. I thank you so much for watching. Take care.